Hi. So Puddin' Beer is here. Welcome, dear.
Thank you.
And who else is here?
Rupi's here.
Oh, hi, Rupi.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Where do you live?
I live in New York, but I'm calling from Ottawa in Canada right now.
Oh, you on vacation?
I'm visiting my family.
Oh, how nice.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Who else is here? Who else? Anybody else?
This is good, Rupi.
Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
Good. Good.
Good.
And who else is here? Who else? I heard somebody else's voice.
Aloha.
The Aloha girl, who is Ranbir Kaur.
Ranbir Kaur, good morning.
Good morning. Where are you now?
I'm in the California area. I'm staying with a friend, and I actually have Wi-Fi and phone service, so I'm able to join in today. Yay!
Good. Are you in the San Diego area now?
No, I'm in the South Bay of the LA area in Palos Verdes with a friend of a friend, and trying to find something within the area of Venice, Santa Monica, West Los Angeles, where I have a lot of friends and connections.
Oh, good.
But happy to be here.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. I'm going to have earphones on to respect the environment here. Thank you.
I beg your pardon?
Said I'm going to put earphones on. I'm going to stay quiet so to respect the household morning routines.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Good. And who else is here? Anybody else? Anybody else is here? Is Guru Simran here? Okay. Excuse me. Okay, well, it's... My goodness. I don't know what happened to me this morning. Okay, Satnam, who's here?
This is Hadi Munder.
Oh, Hadi Munder.
Hey.
Yeah. And where are you now?
I'm back in Juneau for a couple of weeks anyway.
Oh, okay. Good. I have to tell everybody, Hadi Munder came through here very briefly, and she brought me a pair of reading glasses that have headlights on them. It's quite amazing, but very fun. And I can see through those lenses better than any others that I have. So I'm very appreciative. Okay, folks, so let's get ready. Everybody, please sit straight. Long, deep breathing. That's it. Long, deep breathing. Get your prana moving. And realize where we're going, consciously going. We are going to the golden chain of teachers. We call it tuning in. And we are also going to our own infinity. Woo, it's big. Okay, so long, deep breathing. Hands in prayer pose at the heart center. Eyes at the brow point. And inhale to begin. Long deep breath. That's it. Keep up with your long deep breath. And now, please begin heart breath. That is long, deep breathing from the belly, through the nose. On the exhale, feel as though this exhale is coming out of your heart center. And what is really coming out of your heart center is healing energy. Good. Good. And now please send this beautiful healing energy to each other, whether people are on the phone at this moment or not, whether they're listening to the recording. And at the same time, receive it from one another. Good. And now please send this beautiful conglomeration or ball or mechanism of healing energy. Please send it to all of those who consider themselves to be leaders of this country or whatever country you prefer. Good. And now, please, oh please, send your healing energy to the Middle East. Good. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Good. and breathe. And Baba Siri Chand is here. He says he's here with his mother, which is all of our mother, Adi Shakti, Divine Mother. Yes, sir. He says, well, now I have a few things to tell you today. He says these few things, he says some of it has to do with being revolved around money. He says money is a wondrous thing. It is a token of exchange, of value, of time and place work. He says it's really quite a marvelous invention. He says it seeks to keep things balanced. It seeks to keep things in an orderly fashion. He says the problem is that all of you on earth don't seek its balance. What you seek is its grandizement, is, he calls it its strange reprisals. He says you seek to be known by your money. He says you seek to gain security and comfort by your money. He says that's not exactly the biggest problem. He says, but the biggest problem is that you rely on it for your security rather than your own inbuilt, heart-breath, accessible union with the infinite. He says, if you use money as a substitute for your innate security with the Almighty, he says you've jumped ship. He says, remember that. He says, do not jump ship. He says, if you trust that the Almighty will take care of you, that even if you don't feel taken care of, that you are in alignment with the Almighty or the perpetual oasis of goodness, he says, no matter whatever your situation is, if you do not take your security from that fountain, he says, oh, my dears, you have lost yourselves. You have lost your Almighty. You have lost your source. You have lost your heart. He says, now, I'm not against putting up savings, making investments, and so on. He says, I'm not against that. He says it just depends what your attitude is the return that you are going to get on your investment. He says if your total focus is that the money is going to give you the security, he says it's going to give you the security that you need to enfold you in happiness in this life. He says, then you've missed the boat. He said it is a paraphernalia of security. It is not your innate security. Do you understand the difference? He says when you are in your true security, he says you are living from the place of the greatest kindness, the greatest openness, the greatest awareness. He says that's in your heart. He says, please do your heart breath now. He says, please do it and go deep. Keep going deeper. He says, now please begin to bless yourself. Please begin to bless yourself. As has been said many times, and you have heard this with your mind, so why not take it to the deepest level and just trust that you are the expression of the God. You are the God in your earth suit. So, my sweet ones, he says, who is better qualified to bless you than your own self? He says, do you believe that? Do you actually believe that? He says, well, keep going deeper and deeper to bless yourself. Bless yourself with kindness, with love, with trust. With total security. Keep up. Make your heart breath strong. Do not sit back and just say, oh, I've done heart breath before. I don't need to do this. He says, oh, yes, you do. Go into your deepest security within the arms of the Almighty. He says it's true. He says now, he says, keeping your feet in this nest of security of the Almighty, he says, go through your mind and go through your body. He says, and just look for those thoughts, those feelings, those sinking feelings here and there about this and that quickly trigger you into your own insecurity. Please do that now. Just go through your body, go through your mind, make a list. He says, yeah, on pencil and paper, make a list. One by one. What makes you feel insecure? What makes you feel untrusting? What makes you feel unknown? What is that and who is that that takes you down? Who pulls out your underpinnings? That cuts your moorings? That leaves you lost in space, fearful, worried? What is it? He says, and now, he says, now that you have a name for each one of these things, he says, take them one at a time, greet it by name. Greet it by name. Greet this insecurity by name. He says, honor it. Love it. He says, keep up your heart breath and guide it very carefully, very gently, but very powerful to the very source of your own security, which is in your heart. Keep up your heart breath and do this very consciously. Very consciously. Give them a tour of your full heart, where your own God self expresses itself. Let them be greeted by the all in all, which resides in your heart. Let each one be greeted as the prodigal son, if you remember that. The son who left home, left his inheritance, but now has come home and is dearly loved. Let each one of your insecurities come home again, be loved again. Love each one until they melt into the arms of the infinite within you. Remember to give each one plenty of time to go through this process. Don't get confused. Don't mix them up. One by one. Let the barriers, the barriers to trust, let those barriers dissolve. Understand that the love from this infinite source is the true security. And as you do this, look around. Do you see as the barriers of each point of insecurity, as they are melted, can you see that your doors are opened? Can you see that the doors are open to trust, which allows the openness to creating whatever one needs, whether it is wealth, whether it is knowledge of the infinite, whether it is kindness, receiving kindness and pure love rather than trickery. Each one. Each one. Do you understand who you are? Okay, now, seeing through all the barriers that keep you separate rather than connected, can you see the relationship among all aspects of your insecurities? Can you see that what they need is love, what they need is kindness? Perhaps your insecurity has to do with overwork, overthinking, judging and being judged. Let each one of these insecurities fall into the precious arms of infinite love. Feel Divine Mother there. She is ready to receive each one. Each one. Feel her absolute worthiness, knowing that you have inherited her absolute worthiness. Know your sources and your resources. Let Divine Mother, let her pat your head, pat your back. Let her hold you. And do you see what happens as you surrender to her? She is the matrix of creativity. When you are tight in your insecurity, she can do nothing for you. Do you understand that? When you are tight in your insecurity, that means not surrendering, being fearful, having to know the whole picture before you step forward with her advice or soul's advice, of staying in self-pity, of being wounded by other people's aggressions. It might be not having enough to eat, or not having a place to live, or the fear of those things. It may be the fear of being deserted by your loved ones. He says, allow Mother to take all of those insecurities, those closely held insecurities, those tightly held insecurities. Let them melt. Let the barricades melt. And as they melt, then Mother can do something for you. Remember, she is a matrix of creativity. But if you hold tightly onto your insecurities, she can do nothing for you. You have blocked the way. If you blame her, if you blame the universe, if you blame your God self, he says that is tightly held. He says you are the dictator of your own arena. He says, so how do you want to dictate? Or do you want to surrender? As you surrender without knowing what comes next, oh, my dear ones, if you surrender, or as you surrender, without knowing what comes next, then Mother can work her magic. She cannot work her magic. She is forbidden to work her magic. If you say no, by holding on to your insecurities, by holding on to your fears, your judgments, your memories that pull you down, she can do nothing for you. Do you understand that you are in charge of your own domain? If you continue to create the walls of insecurity, she says you will continue to live within them. As you surrender every insecurity to her, she says, then you may open yourself to her greatest gifts, to her flowing prosperity, to her softness that is all powerful, to her being that gives all. It is a matter of surrendering. Being absolutely soft on the one hand, and yet holding the space to follow her direction so that you may hold the blessings that come to you and so that you may continue to share them with all parts of your own psyche and body, with your family and friends, with all of humanity and creation. That is how your power is regenerated and how it may flow. She says that is why tithing is important. She says, as you tithe, you break the wall of insecurity. Do you understand? You break the wall of insecurity so that you may open the floodgates and allow prosperity in ways that you may even never have imagined. Then you allow the walls of true prosperity to open up. As you serve, so you are served. So understand that when you tithe, when you give, when you open up, it is not a simple exchange. Such as you give, and now, Mother, you must give me what I want. She says it's very childish. She says, no, it is to open up so that you may flow with the infinite creative. You open up to flow with the infinite creative. She says, please do that now. Feel it. Open it. She says, understand that you are not being overlooked, but that you are overlooking your birthright. She says, as you stay in that small space, in that hurtful space, you are denying your birthright. Which is the pure union with Mother, with the divine creative, with a source of love, with a source of kindness. She says you have built your walls to contain your insecurities. She says, you have the ability, but do you have the, how can I say, the wherewithal to simply move over and surrender? Without that, you keep yourself stuck. With that, you open to the destiny, to the flow of your own perfect and beautiful destiny. So what is it that you feel is holding you back? What is it that you sense is keeping you enveloped in your short-sightedness? What is it that you fear? What is it that you lack? These, my sweethearts, are your insecurities. Turn them over to Mother. Surrender. Let them be your precious gifts, your sacrifice. Sacrifice your insecurities to Mother. And let them be. Just let them be. Don't put a price on them. Say, Mother, here we go. If I give up this insecurity, then you owe me $10,000. It doesn't work like that. Oh, my precious ones. You open to the flow. You trust the flow to be better than anything you could have imagined. You give over. You give up. You surrender. You surrender to the God flow. Feel yourself enveloped in that love, that kindness, that absolute prosperity. The reason why you, as the God Source, put on this earth suit in the first place. Know who you are. Be who you are. Understand who you are through the very experience of being, surrendering to Mother so that she may help you evolve into the knowing, the understanding of who you are. That's what it's about, sweet ones. That's what it's about. Now, he says that he encourages each and every one of you, he says to listen to this recording over and over. And he is admonishing me to get this recording up on the page as soon as possible. Yes, sir, I will do that. So loving yourself, loving every obstruction that comes in your path, every seeming obstruction in your path, because you know that as you give it up, as it is cracked open, it is the source of your greatest prosperity. Opening now. Feeling the hug of love, the kindness of the infinite, of Mother. Let yourself know the truth and trust. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Oh. So, who can comment? Who can comment on their own experience, their own understanding of what Babaji had to teach us today, with the experience he brought to us today? Who can respond? Guru Ravi, would you like to respond?
Hi, yes, I can respond. It's, can you hear me?
Yes, uh-huh.
Oh, okay. It's just always so amazing to me, you know, just how perfect and right on everything is that we hear in every week. And before the call, I listened to last week's call again. I was on the call, but I got on it late. But all of this was coming up for me in last week's call with where am I stuck? How do I move into this new aspect of prosperity, which is flow? And it's just like the pieces being put together and rearranged in a way that you feel like you got it before, but then you see you didn't get it before. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's a just deeper and deeper teachings of this ability to move into that flow and to continue to surrender and continue to uncover these places that are blocking that flow, and you didn't even see it before. You may have seen big parts of it, that you felt like, okay, I'm letting go of this, I'm turning this over, and then you take it back and you turn it over again, and you stay stuck in that. But the idea of building the walls of insecurity so that we live in that insecurity was like, it was like mind-blowing.
Actually, I found it to be as well. I thought, whoa, it's an interesting, a new concept,
But then you can see how clearly we do that.
We do.
So it was,
and we're
it was just amazing.
We're so good at building those walls, aren't we?
Very good. And good at tricking ourselves to thinking we're not doing it.
That's right.
But on a side note, I thought this was pretty hilarious also, because as I went back through with Heart Breath and seeing all of these places that I'm blocking myself and ways that I'm blocking myself that I didn't really realize it, then I feel this free flow of coming, and at the same time of releasing these ideas of what is making me feel secure. What do I have to see in my life so that I feel secure? And to know, and this came up again, and when I listened to the call again from last week, just Baba G saying over and over again, you're not alone, you're not alone. And to feel, as a woman that has chosen to live by myself, I won't say alone, but when these aspects of taking care of my house, or if something breaks in my car, or all of these, just day-to-day things that come up, and to feel that I'm not alone in that, even though it may appear on the outside that I am. And that was another insecurity that came up for me, is that what other people project onto me, how am I taking that in? Like, I don't feel like that, but how is that influencing me? How is that building up that wall? That I don't think that I'm taking in others' opinions of me, but I am.
That's very important,
as a society. But I have to mention that I had 2 orders pop in on a notification on my phone, my cell phone, as we were clearing all of that out.
Oh my goodness!
So I thought that was pretty funny.
May I say that you are a wonderful Ayurvedic practitioner, and that you make and sell Ayurvedic products, and your website is busy, BUSYDAY, day, go.com, right? Busy Day Go?
Yes, thank you, Siri Gian, yes.
Yeah, marvelous products if you want to. Oh, and she does Panchakarma for you if you go there. And so many wonderful things. Check check out her site. It's a very sacred way of maintaining and reaching your health.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate that.
So thank you, dear.
Oh, thank you so much. These are just life-saving, really. You know, in this time that we're going through with the planetary alignments and the rewiring and the shifts and everything that's happening, you know, around us as we move through and shift along with the rest of the universe into this new age. It's like a lifeline, I feel.
Yeah, we're very grateful that Baba Siri Chand is taking us by the hand. It's as though when you accelerate, when you're just going along like Piscean, you know, it's like going in the water and being pulled behind the boat, and it's okay. But then when that pull line accelerates, oh my God, you've got all this wind in your face, and you either come up on your water skis or you drown by all the friction that is coming at you. But he's telling us, he's showing us, he's taking us on how to ease through this acceleration, in my opinion.
Yes, definitely.
So thank you, dear.
Thank you so much.
Now, who else can share?
This is Pornbeer.
Yes, dear.
Hi. I had also these same things coming up since the message last week, and today I could really feel the energy of those insecurities.
Oh, and what did it feel like?
Well, they're kind of gravelly and dense, and you know, they kind of just hang around, not really, they don't really help or serve. They just, you know, just get in the way pretty much. And so then I try to trace back, you know, I try to be mindful of them and trace back a little bit, you know, why are they so prevalent, and, you know, who's giving them permission just to hang around and you know, make things happen and block things from happening. And for me, it is what I'm realizing, and speaking of our Vedic healing, you know, my own constitution is variable, and I have a real variable faith. And my faith comes and goes, and when we talk about, you know, we're not alone, Babaji's there, and God is there, you know, I never have a constant sense of that. And I try to find that and establish that. And so more than dwelling anymore on the insecurities and accommodating them, I think for me it's a matter of continually, in a stable, you know, consistent way, replace them. And when they try to, you know, when their energy, you know, comes and wants to be used, or, you know, I have a tendency to use that energy to just quickly, you know, reestablish in faith of the flow, have faith in the flow. And I still haven't found my way to the place that is stable and established, that I'm not alone. Babaji's there all the time, and God is there all the time. But, you know, I'm making my way. It's a practice for me because I'm habitually ingrained in those insecurities for many reasons. You know,
I
physiologically.
Think you're not alone in that, dear.
Yeah, but it's a physiological thing. You know, it goes on so many levels. Instead of, you know, better for me just to reach for the antidote and take it, you know, and then what I find works, you know, continue with that. And, you know, I have faith now that I will be able to feel that and stay in the flow and open, to keep the doors open. You know, because the insecurities just shut the doors. They give us a false sense that the doors are shut. And then we buy in, and then, you know, you go from there. And so, you know, so grateful. Thank you so much for these messages, because they're really helping me.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Babaji is sending his love. Don't forget.
Yeah.
To you and to everybody who's listening. Okay, thank you, Pudambir.
Aloha.
Aloha, Ranbir.
First of all, thank you. Thank the group, and thank to Baba Siri Chand, who has grown to be, I guess, my main buddy. I don't
your
know
mainstay?
what.
Your mainstay.
Yeah. With time, the more I allow it, the more I realize how deeply he is in my life and how much he reflects. And could this have been a more perfect lesson today for me at this time? I don't think so. I have expressed sometimes that I feel somewhat silly because I feel like the class is just for me, although I know it's not so.
But
the interesting thing, yeah.
But it is synchronicity.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody feels that. And
I love that synchronicity. It brings out even more trust in me. And my journey, and I've been that schizophrenia of knowing maybe the source of my problems, and they appear lesser and lesser, and at the same time, every time they appear, these fears or insecurities, they're more uncomfortable because, they have this energy of just really needing to go now. And what was interesting during the process, one of the main things is me giving power away, the insecurity of not having a place to live, etc. Even though in some ways people from the outside consider me very brave to trusting the universe so much and taking the next step, etc. On other levels, it's not so easy. There's inconsistency there. And that's one of the things that I tend to judge in situations like people who show some kind of mental or emotional instability and insecurity, and today they're saying, come and stay, we love you, and then the next day they find themselves occupied with something else and I have to go. And so the sense of rejection is spelling. And of course it comes from our mom. My mom was huge and energetically, but in some ways she would love me one minute and slap me the next, and I think that brought a sense of insecurity and instability that has permeated a lot of my psyche.
And
but that's the path. That's the path. Yeah.
Ranbir?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, and what happens is we continue to live that parent's voice.
Right, exactly. And I've been conscious
you need
of it.
somebody to love you on the one hand, and you need somebody to slap you on the other.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. And so what I've identified, and I have, a lot of the times I have done the patient listening of the fear, etc. But what happened this time was rather more precise. It's like literally, even though I wasn't conscious of the mother energy in me, I was actually wrapping every fear like a baby in one of those little burrito kind of wrappings, where you wrap them and you love them. And one of them, I think it was the fear of not enoughness. I actually saw like a golden halo on top of the head of that fear.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. But I think that going back to the basics, it's just loving the fear so that it's kind of, the compassion, the humanity of that process. Yeah. And right now I'm in the process of, I'm really grateful to have the space where I'm staying, although there are some imbalances. It's, I'm really witnessing and learning a lot. I'm in I am also in the process of allowing new dreams, new expansions, new things to happen. And that's for me the biggest insecurity, in the sense that my experience of self until now has been always driven by some kind of dream or external reaction or something. Right now, that's literally like I have no ground in my heart to stand on, and that's kind of what I've been looking for, to be able to fly, but at the same time I guess unconsciously wanted to fly and have a solid ground. I don't know how to explain that. I just know that I'm in the process of trying to root or at least feel a consistency in my life right now on a new level. I came back with an attitude of really focusing on giving and teaching and doing it from a place of centeredness. And I just really need to be more forgiving and loving of my fears. I don't even like the idea of calling on the energy of the past for all of this, but I know it's there. So and it's funny, and I get emotional talking about this, but my biggest joy, my biggest strength, besides connecting to the land so profoundly, is really my practice, my sadhana, my sense of, it's kind of like my intimate moment with the divine within me, and that's where I fall. That's where I make my mistakes, is that I see it on the outside, I react to it on the outside, I'm grateful for it from the outside, but when it comes to me, I'm still faltering in there, and I need to accept that more. And I was reminded of that through this.
You do what more?
I was reminded through this process today about the divine within me. I am conscious, I am cognitively aware of it, but not embodying it yet.
And what we do is accept it, trust it, just trust it.
Yes.
Because we can't really know what it is. If we put up a picture and say, I'm going to embody that picture, that's not right. I mean, that doesn't work. It's just surrender.
The desire to know what it is, the curiosity and the sense of adventure, it's becoming stronger than the fear of it.
Good.
But I have moved through the fear, visibility, and invisibility simultaneously, and and I think my biggest fear has been, that what I sense about myself is real. Or worse yet, that I'm absolutely crazy, is not real, and everybody else is right. And by everybody else, I mean, people who say just, go back to the mundane 3D world kind of a thing. So I'm in an interesting place. I feel taken care of, and at the same time, I feel I got a mental picture of, like after a sinking ship, be careful of what a raft or what kind of debris you hold on to. Literally, sometimes I've held on to like a floating bomb instead of just swimming on my own. And that's kind of a mental pictures help me a lot.
Well, good. Well, thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So, does anybody have one more? We just have a little time left. Does anybody have any thing that they want to share? Okay. Rupi, what did you feel?
You're going to call my name. I just, I also, another one was that she, people listened that they referred to last week's call, and I did as well, and I just feel like this really kind of refined everything for me in a sense where I'm realizing, as I went back to look at my insecurities, I just realized just how old everything is. Like, it's just really outdated, and I don't know what I'm holding on to anymore. It just seems a little bit almost like ridiculous in a way, and almost kind of funny in a sense, and yeah, and it just brought some lightness. Yeah, things just felt lighter after just kind of seeing it that way. Things just seem a little bit different, like my view of myself and my quote issues, they just seem a little bit I guess not so, they feel deeply rooted but old, but at the same time they feel they've shifted. They're shifting.
Oh, good.
They're shifting, definitely. I'm not quite sure how to say it.
Are they becoming more porous?
That's a good word, porous. Yeah, that's actually a very good word, more porous. Like it's more permeable now, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Baba Siri Chand is throwing up his arms, throwing them around your neck and saying, "You got it."
Oh, I got it. Okay, good.
He says, "Let the trust seep in."
Yeah, I feel that now. It's like, okay, it's time to just let go and just trust and just stop the story.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's how I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's saying, as always, he's saying the Gobindi Mukandi mantra is incredible for loosening those old things up, letting them go.
It's funny because this morning I was walking to a yoga class, and I put that on my iPod. I was listening to that as I was walking.
Really?
Yeah. So it was that mantra is in my mind a lot.
Oh, good. Well,
too, yeah.
Keep up.
Yeah, I will.
Good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to everybody. Wow, what a journey we're on, huh? And we're doing it together. Which is really important. It's the human way. Okay, everybody. So love you and keep on breaking those walls of insecurity to become porous and permeable and to open up so that your gifts are shown to you so that you may flow with the creative divine. Okay, so sit straight now, palms together at the center of the chest, and please sing this divine song to one another and receive it from each other. Okay? So now inhale. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Inhale. And just feel that infinity, that creativity flowing through you, bringing you every gem and jewel, even beyond what you could possibly ever imagine. Lay your imaginations down and open to receive and contribute. Okay. Love you all. Talk to you next week. Satnam.
Satnam.
Satnam.